And now it's time for another Booze and News top story. All right, top story, Albert, is the school shooting that went on yesterday in Uvalde, Texas. I don't know if anyone out there knows where that is or has friends or family out there, but it's a pretty small town, a bit west of San Antonio, right? There was a shooter. I have some information on that. We'll pull up and then we'll get into it. Let me start the timer on that one so we don't take too long on the story. But there was a shooter. His name was the gunman. The school was Robb Elementary. The shooter's name was Salvador Ramos. He was 18 years old. He apparently had been working at a Wendy's and quit his job recently. I'll pull up some more this article. Where is the browser? There we are. Cool. Anyway, it says he was so it says unemployed, but he had been working at a Wendy's for like the past year. He recently quit his job. He had been posting some kind of cryptic messages and posting gun images and weird like DMs to people apparently recently on Instagram, having guns in the photos and shit. And yeah, that's pretty much a travesty. He opened fire at this elementary school, ended up killing 19 people, I believe is where the death total is right now. I think the grandmother that he shot is still in the hospital. And so 19 students, I believe, and 2 teachers. Is that what I think that we're at? Yeah, 2 adults. So anyway, what have you heard about this story, Albert?
Yeah, everything you just said, I heard about. So it's, you want to hear my opinion, or do you want to go first, or?
Well, no, we can get to your opinion, and then we can get into some other what other people have responded to about it. But yeah, let's go ahead and go with your opinion. I mean,
yeah, man.
I had heard that the kid didn't have a lot of friends, which is pretty normal, I think, for a lot of these kind of people.
Right.
He was kind of a loner and very quiet. But the people that did know him, kind of had said he was kind of a weird kid that used to cut himself and punch people and shoot people with BB guns and shit, and have signs of aggression. So yeah, go into your spill, your opinion.
Okay, so he just sounds like a weirdo kid, and he shot a school up. And there's a lot of weirdo kids out there right now that are doing weird things, and they're probably going to end up shooting some place up as well. And the thing about it is, at least when it comes to the school situation, I will say this as a parent, and even before my son was born, me and Marissa had already talked about we wanted our son to be homeschooled. And one of the 2 main reasons was school shootings and pervert teachers. And also, I have a high school diploma, and it does nothing for me. And so there's a lot of reasons why I was like, I don't think my kid needs to be going to a public school. And so I think that's where everyone heads need to be at that do have kids right now is we're all upset. The next thing after being upset is, what do we do? Mm-hmm. Because right now, all Republicans are saying is, well, let's pray. That's mm-hmm. all they're saying. Mm-hmm. Well, let's pray and God and Jesus and all this other dumb shit. So that's all they're saying. They're saying nothing.
Yeah.
But if you actually want to do something about it, and you have a kid and you're scared, you can do something about it, but you have to make sacrifices, and that's what it's coming down to right now. And I've already seen some TikToks where people are talking about I'm homeschooling my kid, and it's like good, do it. Well, you're taking action and responsibility for your child, and not putting it in the hands of a district and a government. Don't give a fuck about your kid, and you know that. Everyone knows that. The thing is, if you tell a regular parent right now, hey, homeschool your kid, they're going to give you a million excuses why they can't do it. Okay, well then fine. Then when something happens, then that's going to be then what are you going to do with all those? Where are all those excuses going to go when something happens to your kid?
Okay, Well, I'm going to push back on those points of yours that you made just a little bit because I disagree with you on some of the conclusions that you've come to. But I understand where you're coming from. You did mention how the Republicans have basically offered no goddamn options other than thoughts and prayers. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's their solution. Basically, a lot of them are coming out saying the reason why this is happening is because, and I'll pull up the article, is because there's no more church anymore. You know, it was, they used to blame it on rap music and violent video games and the internet and movies and Hollywood and you know what I mean. And now their big thing is like, oh, we're just not religious anymore. You know what I mean? Like atrocities didn't happen in times of religion. You know, but the other thing is they are, like, this is Laura Ingraham here, who was agreeing with a guest on her show on Fox, saying that basically this is parents' responsibility. And what was their answer? It had nothing to do with should we do more background checks? Should we try to regulate guns more? Should we address mental illness by giving free health care in this country? No. It was, you need to pull your kids out of public schools and put them into private schools. And I have been saying on this show, I know to you and to Coleman and to everybody else, that this is the Republican agenda. They don't want you going to public schools. Because in public schools, you're going to learn what? You're going to learn about evolution, and you're going to learn about critical race theory, apparently, right? Even though really they're just teaching you about slavery and history, right? You're going to learn about genders, and that there are different kinds of genders. No, what they're preaching and telling you to do is basically they want you to go to like a church school, a private school, or be homeschooled and not taught anything. And I will say this, it is sad that the only way to protect your kids from a school shooting would have to be to resort to that, right? But the only reason we have to do that is because our politicians are so inept that they won't do anything about fucking gun control in this country. And you know me, I'm for guns, but we should pass things like H.R. 8, which was proposed, passed the House, and it's just been sitting on the Senate. They won't vote on it, which would allow for universal background checks to where everybody who sells a gun would have to go through a gun retailer and get a FBI background check. Right now, the way it works, Albert, if you're unaware, is if I want to sell a gun to somebody, right, I can do that, and I don't have to have any background check at all. And that's fucking stupid.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about the gun stuff for a second. The reason why I'm so pro homeschooling, look, I can't look. Okay, I was talking about kids. If we're gonna go into the gun stuff, that's a totally different subject. But we'll go into that.
Well, but if you're saying that we have to worry about the teachers raping the kids and then people shooting the kids, obviously we shouldn't give teachers guns. That's another dumb idea. But
I don't agree with that either. And they're not gonna do that, by the way. They're not gonna give fucking teachers guns. I know they're not.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
But here's my thing. If we're talking about the gun laws, of course there should be stricter gun laws. Here's the issue with the gun laws, though. We can make the fucking gun laws strict as fuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the problem with that. This kid was 18.
Mm-hmm.
If he has no criminal background,
sure,
because he's fucking 18 years old, he hasn't done anything bad yet.
Right.
See, this is the issue that we're having. If it all comes down to a background check, there are plenty of mentally ill people out there who got clean backgrounds and are still going to be able to get their hands on a fucking gun. So, in my opinion, the fucking stricter gun laws shit don't really do much. It'll help.
Sure.
But you're gonna have psychos that don't have a background on record of any criminal anything, and they're gonna go get a motherfucking gun and they're gonna go kill people.
No, I agree.
So we're either gonna fucking. So what do we do? So then what do we fucking do?
So here's the deal.
We're fucked.
Here's the deal. We can fight this as much as we want. It's kind of like the war on drugs. You will never prevent people from getting guns. You never prevent bad people from getting guns. But the point is this: you can make it harder with rules.
You can.
And they have ones that they already know they can do. And also, we shouldn't make it to where if you want a gun, you get it same day. You know, in other countries like Germany and shit, if you want a gun, they do a little bit of a deeper background check. It takes a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Right. Nothing wrong with that, right? And as far as like protecting the kids part, I will say this, and we can wrap up on this last thought, but I just worry that the kids that will end up getting homeschooled will get such a shitty education because the parents don't know shit about shit. And if they end up going to
shitty education everywhere.
I know, but I know, but no, you know people out there who know shit about shit, Albert. And they know way less shit than a teacher who actually went to school to educate somebody.
No, I don't believe in that. I think it's all the same bullshit. You're gonna be just as dumb and ignorant. Like I have a high school diploma, and it ain't done nothing for me. It's a big fucking fuck you. 12 years of your fucking childhood down the fucking drain. And in my opinion, it don't mean a goddamn dilly squat. Those teachers don't even get paid to teach.
And
they get paid to go buy a rule book. No, they get paid.
But you even told me, Albert, you even told me that you know a bunch of homeschool kids that are fucking idiots and are some of the most fucked up people that you know.
I know some that aren't, though. I just met one the other day, a friend of mine who homeschooled his kid. His kid is doing great. Look, it comes down to this. But Jonathan, it's also going to come down to this. Ain't no parent going to give a fuck about the fucking slightly higher quality education they can get from a fucking 4-year degree idiot motherfucker who straight out of college who wants to be a teacher versus being at home with their mom. You're right, who may not know as much as a teacher, but you're goddamn not going to compare that to them going to a school and then getting shot in the head the next day.
Well,
they're going to take the latter. They're going to fucking go for the fucking homeschooling every day of the month because coming down to the point now, Jonathan, where the fucking education doesn't even matter anymore. It's all about how the fuck am I going to let my kid live?
No, that's not true. And here's the deal. What we need is actually more education. We need to be giving people free community college and free college, right? And push them into degrees that are useful, like science and shit. And instead of giving them fucking bullshit degrees in PowerPoint and fucking nonsense that a lot of this shit that they have in like business or whatever schools. And as far as let's respond real quick to the address about like the child abuse that goes on with teachers. Statistically, the people who abuse children the most are family members and friends of the family. So a kid is way less likely to get fucked over by a school and a teacher than they are at home. That's just fucking facts.
But they're still abusing. Teachers still abuse kids every day.
There are some, but it's going to be less statistically than an uncle or a fucking grandpa or a fucking guy at the church. So I'm just saying.
Well, look, right.
I'm just saying. You're not going to fix that kind of shit. The only thing that we can do right now, right, is pass some of this regulation, and people get so up in arms about my guns and shit, and it's like, bitch, we can have universal background checks, and we can have fucking a little bit longer wait periods, and you can still go get your crazy ass guns if you pass those things, right?
I think, yeah, I don't have any issue with anyone owning guns or whatever the fuck. This is about right now. We're never going to be able to stop a motherfucker ever from going in a grocery store and shooting people. You're just not going to do that unless every single business has high quality security. It's never going to stop that from happening. But when it comes to children, there's a thing called the parent to the child, and that parent has responsibility for that fucking kid, and it's your responsibility to protect them. And if you think your fucking school's going to do it, you're a fucking idiot.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I will say this. I love you, Albert, but you aren't qualified to teach pretty much jack shit. You know what I mean? I would trust a substitute teacher who don't know jack shit to teach a kid over.
It doesn't matter because either way, I can't. We're being forced into this situation. Look, Jonathan, the shit's fucked up. You look. It's not about.
If you said you got a shitty public education, fair enough. Because a high school education is not enough to succeed anymore. I'm saying they should be giving college education, trade schools education. They should be giving like if you want to go to school to be a nurse or whatever, that should be fucking paid for by the government.
The only thing I use on a day-to-day basis that I learn in school is reading and writing.
And math. And math.
Basic math. And I have a calculator on my phone for that. That's it.
Well, that's sad.
That's fucking it.
That's sad. I use a lot more than that. Thanks for watching. Follow Booze and News on Twitch. We live stream Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when we put up new content. Cheers.